Welcoming you to National Tenant Involvement Week 2025. I'm Louise, I'm Head of Membership at Tpas England. And wherever you are today, I don't know, maybe you're in your living room having a cup of tea, maybe you're in one of the offices, or maybe you're sat in a community centre somewhere. Wherever you are so welcome. And I'm really pleased to have you along and celebrating our week with us starting today. So it's going to be an exciting week, hopefully. Just to give you a bit of background where this all came from. I mean, way back in the pandemic years, we had an idea about having a week to celebrate engagement, and we focused then on scrutiny because scrutiny is a big part of what we do. But a couple of years ago, one of our members said, "You know what? Wouldn't it be great if TPAS celebrated the whole of engagement? Because as we know, it ranges across the spectrum. There's a whole host really of different ways people can get involved, and people do get involved." So we took on board that feedback, and last year we ran our first National Tenant Involvement Week. And here we are a year later doing it all over again. So delighted that we are doing that because it was a huge success, and hopefully this week will be exactly the same too. So what can you expect from this coming week? Well, we hope we've put together a really good programme, not just about what we do here at TPAS though, it's all about what you're doing as well to celebrate engagement and involvement. But let's just focus on our bit, the programme that we've got running today. And I'll talk a little bit about what you can join, what you can get involved in, and then maybe after that mention why it's so important that we do take this time this week to reflect and to celebrate the great stuff that's going off in engagement across the country. So it runs from today until Friday. Today is kicking off with the regulator. Got to say, it's so good to have the regulator supporting our events at TPAS. They're joining us to talk a little bit about the standards, about how important it is that organisations are adhering to the new standards, but a particular focus on the transparency, influence and accountability standard as well, because that is really what we're focusing on when it comes to involvement and engagement. So hear from the regulator at 10, should be a really good session. Sorry, not 10, it's 11. I'm a bit behind time. It's 11, you can join the regulator. And then this afternoon, I'm delighted we've got our accredited landlords who are going to be joining us and learning a lot about what their journey when it's come to accreditation with TPAS and all things around excellence and engagement. So that should be a good session. Moving on to day two. Really love this day. It's all about engagement on the ground. So out there in communities, what's happening, who's doing what. And it's good for me to be able to present a session, I think, on tenants and residents associations, because all through my career, I've worked closely with tenants and residents associations, and I've seen what they can do and what they do on the ground. So we're going to talk a bit about tenants associations and how we can support them better and how we can work with them more effectively, but also how we can make sure that we're celebrating the great work they're doing as well. And then following on from that, I'm delighted we've got two great landlords joining us to talk about what they're doing on the ground when it comes to communities and engagement. So do join us for that session as well. On Wednesday, we're looking at rethinking involvement. We don't want to sort of just rest on our laurels. We want to keep pushing and making sure engagement's really reaching out to as many people as possible and involving and engaging them. So we're looking at the role of AI. Great session lined up on that. You know, whether you're new to AI or you know a bit about it, you know, it should be really interesting and looking at the different aspects of that as well. So I think it's really important that we look at different methods as well. Hopefully that'll be something we can talk to our insight manager, Caritas, about. He will be joining us for that session on the... Oh, I've just had some people saying there's no sound, so I'm not quite sure what's happened to the sound there. I don't know if anybody can help with that at all, or maybe it's something... people are not getting in their homes. So some people saying the sound's fine as well. So maybe it's something with your session in wherever you are. Maybe it's the Wi-Fi. So day 3, all about creative methods, looking at how you can engage people differently, and also trying to look at what you can do to ensure we get more voices heard when it comes to engagement. So day 4, well, involvement for everyone. Again, delighted that Kai Jackson, many of you will know Kai. She's done some fantastic work about amplifying ethnic minority voices in the world of engagement. And she's going to talk a little bit about the report, but also what the next steps are. So really interactive session coming up. And also we're going to hear as well on day 4 from Stonewall Housing, who are going to talk about their LGBTQ pledge and really sort of looking at how we can make engagement truly inclusive for all communities. And then we come to day 5. I'm getting to the end already. We've not even started. But just to flag that this, again, should be a really good day. We're getting real people in to talk about their experiences. And tenants are going to come along and sort of mention what good practice they've been doing, sort of some of the success stories, and also looking at how we can learn from that as well. So some best practice that we can take away. So you've got, hopefully, a lot to go at for the week. You can still book on. It's all online, so places are unlimited. So do take a look, see if there's anything that you fancy and you want to join us, and we'll be delighted to see you. I'll be sort of hosting a lot of them, so you'll see a bit of me, but we've also got some different people, so you don't get too bored, coming along and talking as well. As I've said, some great guest presenters. So that's the week ahead, really. So I just want to say, though, it's not really about just sitting back and watching this stuff. It's about you taking part, and hopefully you will do that, whether you're a tenant or a resident, a leaseholder. Share your story this week, because this week's all about celebrating engagement, involvement, and showing the sector what a massive difference tenant engagement makes, whether it's improving services, working in communities, or really sort of looking at how you can improve things across the board with policies, with strategies, all that kind of stuff. Or it might just be filling in a survey, a focus group. There's loads of different ways you can demonstrate how you've got involved and what you've done has mattered. If you're a landlord or if you're a councillor, if board member, again, we'd love you to get involved. Talk about engagement. What's your organisation doing? Are you acting on what you're hearing? If so, what difference has it made? So do post your pictures, your thoughts across social media. Use the hashtag IW25 and let's show everyone really the good stuff that's happening across the country when it comes to engagement. Because I think it is, as I've said, really important that we take time to reflect and do this really. Because we look at where engagement is now, and I think it's in a really good place. We've got the new regulation coming in. We've had AWAB's law introduced, and there's some really, really progressive things that have happened. But if you've been around as long as I have with engagement, you realise that you can't sit back and just rest on your laurels, and there's much, much more to be done as well. So it's about us showing through this week, engagement really does matter. It's making a difference, but let's get it out there so people can see that and also push for those improvements and make sure we're actually not doing it as an afterthought, not thinking it's something that's nice to have. Engagement is actually central to everything that we do across housing and across the work that we're involved in. So I think that's the message that we want to push. Yes, we're doing well. There's some really good stuff happening, but we know there's improvements that need to be made as well. And this is where Involvement Week can shine a spotlight on the good practice, but also look to learn, develop, and create even better opportunities to ensure that tenants' voices are central to everything that we do. So I just really wanted to sort of finish off this opening session with a real call to action to get involved, to make your voices heard across social media, but also in your organisations as well. If they've not yet signed up to some of the stuff that we're doing, give them a little push. They can download a pack that'll help them with all the media stuff. They can put stuff on their channels as well. And I think it'll be a really great way of making sure not just Tpas are celebrating Engagement Week, but everyone that's involved across the country will do that as well. So I just want to leave you with some thoughts about where we go with this week. Just finally to say a recap, really. So the main things to take away from this opening session is check out the website, see what's on offer, get yourself booked on one of the sessions. If you can't commit to that, we will be putting the recordings so you can watch them back. But if that's not your thing and you just want to get involved in other ways, you can do that on the social media accounts as well, and make sure you're having your voice heard across there as well. Or if that's not for you, drop us a line at Tpas and we're more than happy to share what you're doing ourselves and let people know as well. So that's engagement week and it's involvement week and it's exciting week. So let's hopefully create a really, really good vibe about this week. And I really, really do hope that you find something that you can enjoy and bring to this involvement week. So thank you ever so much for tuning in. Stay with us. Let us know how you find things. Let us know what's happening. And hopefully we'll see you at 11 o'clock for the regulators session this morning. So lovely to speak to you all. Take care, everyone, and see you soon. Thank you. Bye.